I'm Lori Barnes, here to talk to you about the upcoming Taurus new moon. The new moon phase starts on either Tuesday or Wednesday, May 7th or 8th, depending on where you live. It'll be on Tuesday if you're on the west coast of the US, with the new moon phase starting at 8:22 p.m. It'll be 11:22 p.m. on the east coast of the US on Tuesday night, and if you're over here in Europe, it'll be at 5:22 a.m. if you're in Rome, Italy, where I'm broadcasting from. A new moon means the sun and the moon are traveling in the same sign and degree. The moon will catch up to the sun at 18 degrees of Taurus. They'll be together at that degree. Remember that it's best to do your new moon intention setting in the new moon phase, not before, because that will actually be during the previous moon cycle. So plan to do your new moon intentions or your new moon ritual on Wednesday or Thursday. That way you'll definitely be in the new moon phase. Taurus is an earth sign. This is a very grounded, rational, and practical sign. People who have Taurus prominent in their chart are the types of people who have their feet firmly planted on the ground. They often display qualities like being steadfast, consistent, reliable, and stubborn. Taurus is one of the home signs of Venus. Taurus takes great pleasure in satisfying the five senses: sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste. There's an appreciation for aesthetics and for collecting beautiful things. These are Taurus things. Taurus is also a fixed sign, and it's one of the most stubborn signs of the zodiac. Taurus has an appreciation and a desire for the expected in the daily life. Now, right now, we're in this time of great change. So the topics and themes associated with the Taurus part of your chart might be feeling some extra tension. This extra tension can be due to change that's either coming from within, where you just feel like things are changing, or you're making change that can be somewhat uncomfortable, or it can come from the outside. It can come from external situations. Taurus doesn't necessarily embrace change. Taurus is well known for keeping the status quo. Taurus likes to maintain the course and often can resist change. So this can be an unsettling or frustrating type of energy if you have a lot of Taurus in your natal chart. Even if you don't have placements like planets or points in Taurus, you will have Taurus somewhere in your chart by house. And looking at that house where Taurus is in your chart will give you a little more information on the topics and themes that are likely going to come up for you. Some archetypes that describe Taurus are the builder, the art collector, the foodie, because Taurus is known for loving good food. Also, the provider, the earth lover, and the sensualist. We always want to look at the other planets and what's going on at the time of a new or full moon phase. That is what makes each new moon every year in Taurus a little bit different. This year, for the Taurus new moon, we have many planets actually traveling through the sign of Taurus. It's not just the sun and moon. We also have Venus, Uranus, and Jupiter all traveling through Taurus right now. So Taurus is very activated. This part of your chart is really activated right now. We're still collectively experiencing the meeting of visionary Jupiter with innovative Uranus in the sign of Taurus. They met in the same degree on April 21st, not that long ago. Even though they are no longer in the same degree, Jupiter and Uranus are still traveling through Taurus. Jupiter's just pulling ahead, but they're still in range that you can still tap into this potent energy. It will gradually fade away when Jupiter moves on into Gemini on May 26th. But for right now, we still have this energy that is visionary, it's innovative, it's about doing new things or doing things with a vision and this concept of growth or expanding something. So it's a good time to have new ideas, new fresh ideas, or new ways of doing things. Things that you start right now in this time period, going from late April into early May, will have this Jupiter-Uranus energetic mix infused with this energetic signature in the event chart. So things also have birth charts, like kicking off a platform on social media or starting a business. Things that you're starting right now or things that you're doing right now will have some of that energy that will stay with it as you work on this project. And these things that you are working on right now have this grounded reality with all of the Taurus energy going on right now. If you don't already have some long-term goals or a long-term vision, now is a good time to make one. And we're going to talk about Saturn, which has to do with long-term vision, long-term strategy. So Saturn is coming into the new moon mix, making a sextile to the sun and the Taurus new moon. A sextile is the type of relationship that's harmonious and is exchanging active energy between Saturn and the new moon and the sun. Saturn is about long-term strategy, efficiency, and consolidation. Saturn is in the sign of Pisces. This is reminding us to keep the big picture vision in mind and not getting lost in endless detail. The Taurus new moon is a time for solidifying your long-term vision and sink into a new routine where you are building something for the long term, or something that will take a long time to mature, something that needs to grow and scale at a steady pace over time. It's about the long build, not the get rich quick type of energy. I recommend that you make some notes about this in the strategy or whatever you're working on, something that you can write down and use it as a reminder of this long-term strategy, this long-term growth strategy. So when you reflect back on whatever you're working on, it will be like a reminder that you want to keep on going. If you feel like giving up, or if you become impatient for results down the line, take your strategy and break it down into action items that you can add to your calendar as recurring tasks. Because whatever you invest in now, whatever you invest your time in now, can have a big payoff over the long term if you have the patience and steadfastness of Taurus to stubbornly plow through time. I'm using Taurus words, being stubborn and plow, like you are working fertile ground that will produce something, it'll grow something, and you can then harvest it down the road. Stay on track, work towards your vision, and keep a regular schedule so that you're working on whatever it is, whatever life situation is important for you right now, that you're doing it at a steady pace. Moving on to Venus and Mars, each of those planets are traveling through one of their own home signs. And that means that they can express their nature in their own preferred way, their own style. Mars is direct and assertive in its own sign of Aries, and Venus is down to earth, sensuous, and delights in luxury or in the pleasures of the five senses. This is a good time to have pleasurable experiences, get out and move about. Mars in Aries likes to move. Venus in Taurus likes to do things that feel good. So combine the two and have some fun, sensual experiences like dancing to your favorite music or creating a new playlist for walking. Get some new workout clothes that are comfortable and make you feel good, and then get out and move your body. So think about how you can combine Venus things and Mars things together. Mercury is now moving forward after going direct on April 25th. It continues to express itself through the sign of Aries. The nature of Mercury is about communication, commerce, business, and the function of learning. Mercury in the fire sign Aries is having the courage to say what needs to be said in a direct, passionate, expressive, and at times forceful way. We're now in the post-retrograde shadow phase of the Mercury retrograde cycle, and that will end on May 14th. So from now until then, until May 14th, is a good time to wrap up any retrograde work that you've been doing. So the review and reflection type of work. Start integrating what you've learned during the retrograde. Any resolutions to situations that you came up with can now be implemented or integrated. You could start pushing things forward. This is a good time to take what you found when you were looking backward and use it to move forward. To look deeper into what all of this means for you in your chart, you will want to find the signs, the astrology houses in your natal chart, and then look up the topics and themes that have to do with that astrology house, and that's going to give you more information. So you'll want to look for the Taurus part of your chart, because that's where the sun, the new moon, Venus, Jupiter, and Uranus are traveling. So Taurus is very activated in your chart. You'll want to look for Pisces because that's where Saturn and Neptune are traveling. You'll want to look for Aries. That's where Mars and Mercury are traveling. And lastly, you'll want to look at Aquarius because that is where Pluto is traveling. If you would like to learn more about your personal astrology chart, schedule a consultation with me. I would be happy to help you with your chart. If you'd like to just get a free copy of your chart because you don't have one, there are many free online calculators. I recommend either astro.com or astro-seek.com. I'm going to give you some ideas for activities you can do or things that you can journal on as you do your new moon intentions. The first thing is to set your new moon intentions in nature. Get close to the earth or the sand by the beach and take off your shoes if you can and get your feet connected to the earth, to the ground, because Taurus is an earth element. If you'd like some help with that, I have a new moon intention setting guide, and I will provide a link in the description below, and you can get that for free. I recommend that you review your long-term vision of whatever important things are happening for you right now. What are your long-term goals? What is your vision? What is it that you want to manifest in the long runs, 3-5 years down the road, or even longer, depending on what you are working towards in your life? This is a good time to look at that vision, to look at those goals, and then think about what actions you can do. This is a time to start taking action. Keep in mind, a slow but steady growth plan is the best strategy for right now. Take that strategy and break it down into actionable tasks and add them to your calendar as recurring items. It's a really good thing to do on this Taurus new moon. And the next thing is to please your 5 senses. Do this intentionally. What you see, smell, hear, taste, and feel on your skin, they can all bring great pleasure to you. Do things that stimulate your senses. For example, you could get an aromatherapy massage with calm music playing and then follow it up with a refreshing or calming cup of tea. So think about things like that that you can do that really stimulate your senses in a positive way. Next thing, take action. Mercury retrograde is over. It's time to look forward again. Get moving on new projects and life situations. Put into action any solutions that you found when reflecting and reviewing during Mercury retrograde. It's now time to take forward-focused action. Now, here's an activity that you can do. Maybe if you want to journal on Wednesday when we're in the new moon phase, here's something that can be really productive. Write down any obstacle that's keeping you from moving forward on something important to you. I would have 2 different columns. One for internal things. So maybe it's a belief that you have. Maybe you think you can't do it, or it's too expensive, or you don't have enough time. Right now, we're just looking at the obstacles. So write all of them down. The other column is what obstacles are blocking you that are external, things that are outside of your control. Maybe something going on with work that you don't have any control over. Or maybe it's taking care of your kids and not having the free time. Right now, just make the list. And after you have your list of obstacles, then you can start working on solutions. What can you do? How can you find help that will resolve those obstacles? That would be a really good exercise for you to do at the Taurus new moon. Whether you're in the northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere, we're all going through a seasonal change. This is a good time to do some of that spring or fall cleaning. You could change out or buy new linens for the season. That's just an example. Any of the annual routines that you do for seasonal changes during the new moon phase is a good time to get going on some of those things. Like I usually switch out my wardrobe for the summer, spring, and switching out the fall and winter clothes. Think about things like that that you try to do every year under the Taurus new moon. You can get going on some of those things. That would be a good thing to do. Here's an inspirational quote that will hopefully help inspire you. This is from Darren LaCroix, who says, "If your short-term goals are too high, you may give up too soon. If your long-term goals are too low, they may not give you enough enthusiasm to drive you over the bumps in the road along the way." I think that really speaks to the theme of the Taurus new moon, which I'm calling Solidify Your Long-Term Vision. That is the theme. Don't set your bar too low. Challenge yourself. And don't set unreachable goals or a vision that's too far out of your reach. Only you know what is realistic for you, and Taurus excels at being realistic. I hope you have a happy Taurus new moon. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. You can find me at LoriBarnesAstrology.com. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Ciao.